My name's Cameron Livingston. I am originally from Aberdeen, but found myself down in the Kingdom of Fife, and I'm an operations manager. I played rugby for a good number of years and was fortunate that parents allowed my brother and I to do lots of different sports, but rugby had always been the main thing. After I kind of stopped playing, I felt a little bit of loss of identity as to if that's the only thing I could do, then what else is there? I didn't really fancy playing touch rugby. I could always train pretty hard. I always enjoyed training, and I think that was always a big benefit to me. I didn't mind long sessions. Started to dabble in some longer endurance stuff, and here we are. What I train is kind of evolved quite a lot over the years, I suppose. So at the minute, recently it's been triathlon as a focus, but it's kind of just whatever has piqued my interest at that time. So I guess strength training has always been a core part of what I've always liked to train and what I've enjoyed. Dabbled in a little bit of ultra endurance running, a bit of long distance swimming, which has been mixed success. But yeah, most recently it's been jiu-jitsu and a little bit of triathlon over the last 6 months. The proudest achievement probably, I think the first ultra that I did, because I said to a family friend I was thinking about doing it, and they said, yeah, but don't push it too hard. And then someone said, oh, are you sure you're able to do that? And that was kind of like the fire to go and, I don't know, prove them wrong, I guess. So yeah, that was the first ultra I did, was 130 odd K, and I hadn't actually run a half marathon up to that point, so people said I couldn't do it, so that was my pretty pleasing. So to do the Celtman was something, well, we went on holiday to the West Coast like a good few years ago, went to Shieldig, got chatting to some people, knew about the race, and I thought, oh, imagine doing something like that one day would be really cool. And I actually entered the ballot twice before. First time I entered it would have actually been the week of our wedding, which might have maybe a good thing I didn't get to do it that year. So just kept entering, and with the idea that it would be something like a kind of bucket list race, I guess. And I didn't really think that, if I thought I didn't get a place this year, I thought I'd just leave it and go and think of something else. But yeah, managed to get a place, and it was amazing. It was really, really cool. So adventure is a big part of my training. I'm really lucky where I live. I've got the Ochils, which are about 20 minutes away. They kind of set nice range of hills there. There's just loads to explore. You can do it on the road bike, you can do it on the gravel bike, and go out and kind of trail running is, it's just a really nice way to explore what's around about you. And I think having a little bit of challenging weather conditions, it makes for a good story. I don't think any good story came from a lap around the park. Advice to someone starting out, don't overcomplicate it, I think. Just be curious about it, I suppose. It's a really interesting way to train, that you can develop skills that you maybe didn't think that you had, or skills that you maybe wouldn't think that can go together. The training is one thing, but it's like the skill acquisition bit that should be quite fun. So talking to other people about how they've worked out their nutrition, how they've, what was their race strategy like in terms of training. There's lots to learn, and that should, just stay curious about it, I think, but don't overcomplicate it as well. The biggest thing for triathlon that I was certainly a major beginner in was I think it probably was my swimming, yeah, because I'd done some long distance swims before, but it was definitely that ability to pace myself, to, I would go for a swim, but I would add on how many extra meters, not swimming in a straight line, and my sighting wasn't great. I could do it, but I wasn't necessarily efficient at it, and I think that was a big thing that I thought, if I nail the swim, I get a little bit of a confidence boost after that, then it would hopefully set you up for the rest of the day or the rest of the session. So I put a lot of hours into my swimming. Any bucket list ones? Yeah, I'd feel like a right fraud though, probably, if I said them. I'd say I'd be interested to do like a multi-day ultra race. The idea of anything over 24 hours I've not done, which is kind of quite more curious about it, like to see whether I could do it. I think when you start getting into the idea of not sleeping and maybe thinking about nutrition over a couple of days, that sounds quite interesting. So maybe something that's up the 150 mile mark. Yeah, the Celtman was a big bucket list one. I think everyone then talks about the other ones like the Norseman and these other kind of big, mega scary races. So maybe one day, but yeah, and a really long ultra endurance race would be cool. Main lessons to take away are that I think there really is only so much you can do on your own. I've said that to my family and to my friends over the last, my wife mainly, over the last kind of 6 months, that if you're committing so much time to training, like something like Ironman distance or the Celtman, for example, it feels like it's like in a whole house or whole family affair, like your big weekends and away training, long evenings training. So I think that's the main thing, that you can do it on yourself, but it's a pretty isolating way to do it. So that support network around about you, I think it makes all the difference. And actually as well, having someone giving your training to you or setting your training out to you, it keeps you accountable, and that's probably the biggest things I think for me.